Hey everybody, how's it going? Let's talk about your home recording studio. Today, let's talk about my home recording studio. I'm going to do a studio tour today. Not because anybody asked for it, but because here within the next couple of weeks, I'm going to have to start packing up the studio, and as much as I'm going to miss it, I don't know, this is as much for me as it is for anybody else. But figured I'd take this opportunity, since I'm not going to have many more opportunities, to kind of go through what I got set up here, talk a little bit about the room, talk some about the gear, and yeah, let's see what all I got kicking around here. You know, for studio tours, I have kind of mixed emotions about them because on one hand, I'm always so interested to see what people around the world are using in their own home studios. But it devolves into kind of a look at me and look at all my stuff and look at what I have kind of thing. You know, to be honest, there's a little bit of that here, but also, you know, you have to kind of keep in mind that I've been doing this for a while. This has been just my main hobby for a long time, and I've been collecting gear for a long time. So I didn't just, you know, walk out, you know, last week and just go buy all this stuff. It's been a process. It's been a long time kind of in the making, and then getting this room purpose built, you know, took a long time before I could really afford to do it. So, you know, keep that in mind. You know, I guess any studio tour is a little bit of a show-off kind of thing. Hopefully it doesn't come off like that. I just kind of want to, for you and for me, just kind of go through the stuff that I have. So let's start with the room itself. And really, that's one of the things I'm most proud of is the room itself. So this room is a purpose-built room. Here, let's take a quick kind of panning shot around, you know, from around the whole room here, and it is a mess, and I do apologize about that. But you can see, you know, there's a lot of junk in here. There's a lot of stuff. I've got it kind of jam-packed, and all right, there we go. So yeah, let's talk about the room itself. Purpose-built room. This is a basement, a fully underground basement room. I built it specifically, well, I say I built it, I had it built. I'm not a handy guy, so if I would have built it, this thing would have fallen down by now. I had it built specifically for the purpose of being able to make a lot of noise in here and not disturb my neighbors, not disturb my family that lives here, and also not have them disturb me. You know, if my neighbor's mowing the lawn, or if a plane flies overhead, or a truck drives by. It's very quiet in here. It's not perfect, but it's pretty darn good. All right, so let's kind of do kind of a first-person look around here. We'll start at the front door and work our way around. All right, so what I did here was a double door. So this is actually an exterior door with, you know, weather stripping and everything. It's like what you would use in kind of a commercial setting. So it's a metal door. It has all of the airtight weather stripping and everything. Hollow. So this doesn't do a whole lot for sound in and out through the door itself, but it does a lot around the, well, you can see here, you know, I got the stripping around it, so nice airtight seal. This one is an interior door, but it is solid core, solid wood. And you know, go out into the, sorry, we're packing to move, so things are a mess here. Yeah, solid core door. This does, you know, nice massive door here. Does a great job, and the two of them together do a fantastic job. Actually, you can probably hear up the stairs. Got the TV on. It's basically right up, you know, right above this wall here, so you can't hear it at all in the studio, which is great. So here, let's shut this again, shut myself back in, get both doors shut. Oh, the wall here between the two, if I were to take this off, you could really kind of see it. Let me kind of back up so you can get an idea of how large of a gap here. There's a big I-beam, a steel I-beam that runs across here, so we had to straddle it when we put this wall in. So on this side of the wall, it's drywall, green glue, drywall, and then a layer of Roxul Safe and Sound, a big giant air gap, more Safe and Sound, another drywall, green glue drywall. So it does a really good job of keeping sound from leaking into the rest of the house pretty well. The ceiling here, this room is right below the master bedroom of the house. So this ceiling hangs on a separate set of joists. The ceiling, so the joists that the ceiling hangs on run in between the joists that the bedroom floor above rests upon. So there's complete decoupling, so vibrations don't get transferred from the ceiling of this room to the floor above. And there's some, 2 layers of drywall on the ceiling, green glue in between, Roxul Safe and Sound above that, and then the bedroom floor is above that and totally decoupled. So I can make a substantial amount of noise in here without it. Now, like I said, it's not perfect. You can hear when I'm being really loud, you can hear it in the rest of the house. But the fact that I could, sit with a Marshall stack just about wide open and not make my family just crawl out of their skin, like they can actually watch TV while I'm doing that. They can hear me, but they can't. They can operate. They can do regular things and not have to leave the house. And the neighbors don't hear me. I don't get the cops called on me because I'm playing drums or playing guitar or whatever. So great room. So all the rest of the walls, same thing. 2 layers of drywall, green glue in between, and Safe and Sound behind that. So great room. The ceiling joists rest on the walls here, so there's a lot of isolation. Not perfect, but really darn good. I can make a whole lot of noise in this room and not really be self-conscious about it or worry about getting in trouble or anything. So anyways, let's move on to the hardware. So really the heart and soul of the operation here, well, I guess first let's talk about the desk. The desk itself is Middle Atlantic, and I think they call it like the MDF DSK or something, but I searched high and low for desks that I liked. If you've searched for computer desks, for audio related kind of production desks, you probably understand that they get expensive in a hurry. I really liked this one, so that this the middle unit is like a standalone thing. I think it goes for about $500 or so, and it's got 2 4-space racks with the overbridge, which is really nice. Just in and of itself is a good desk. I knew that I was going to have needs for more rack space, so they make these matching sidecars for it. Each of them is, I think, 12 rack spaces. Got one here, one over there. The sidecars have an option for casters, and I went for that option on both of them. And you can see that the casters kind of add another 1/2 inch of clearance, which may bother some people. To be honest, it bothers me a little bit because it's not just a flush, kind of finish here. But what the casters afford me is being able to easily move these around. Now this one, since it has all my rack equipment, my computer, my interface, it's very heavily tethered, so you can't really move this one very far. But what I really wanted, this one I've kept completely free of being tethered by cables or anything, so I can move this one around the room. And this is what I use for like unboxing stuff and for my whiteboard, and I use it when I'm maybe recording guitar in the middle of the room. I can scoot it around and have a place to sit my my mouse and a beverage and my sheet music or whatever. So makes a nice little mobile flat surface to do whatever with. Now, as far as kind of computer hardware, so I've got a 4-space rack mount computer case here. It's like a server case. The thing is freaking huge. I have a video where I took this thing out and kind of dismantled it and was doing a little bit of work on it, and you can probably see that video about a link to it about right here or so. So all the details about it in there, but built it myself. I think I'm, before too long, probably going to do something different. because it's not really getting along with the internals that I need for video editing, and my audio interface. So yeah, I'll probably be doing a little something different. Here I've got a couple of patch bays. I have, and they're both from ART or ART. I don't know how you really pronounce that, but 48-point patch bay for TRS connections that I use a ton. I think it's really great. So, you know, for the price, oh my goodness, that thing has been terrific. I have an XLR patch bay that honestly I hardly use. I've only really got one channel patched through it right now, but I think that the way I'm going to end up integrating my ADA 8200, I think that I'm going to end up using this for the outputs of this, because this outputs in XLR on the back. So I'm probably gonna, you know, rig up something with that. I just need the cables for it, and I bought a bunch of cables to patch the ADA 8200 into the TRS patch bay, but I've already got so much stuff patched into the TRS patch bay that I don't have enough room. So I think I'm going to use this instead. And of course the ADA 8200, and then my main interface. This is really truly the heart and soul of everything I do here in this room. And it is an RME Fireface UCX. It's got just a ton of inputs, a ton of outputs, really great converters, great quality preamps already built into it. I love everything about this. I had struggled once my old M-Audio interface went dead. Well, it didn't go dead, but it just wasn't working all that well. And once I started the process of looking for a new interface, I tried a couple different ones. I tried, you know, Motu, you know, Mark of the Unicorn, and it was a disaster on this system. While I have all the respect in the world for that brand, it was not meant to be with this system. So the one thing that the M-Audio, that I really respected about the M-Audio was that it was reliable. It was, I mean, it just worked every time, and I wanted something like that. So I overspent on the RME. That, you know, it's not a cheap interface, especially if you're just, you know, some guy in his basement. But it does the same thing. It just works, and it works every time. It does a great job. Everything I ask it to do, it does just a great job. So, and I know I'm going to have it for a really long time. So I, you know, in the long run, I didn't really mind overspending. All right, let's see what else we got here. The PreSonus, the little fader port. This has been just a terrific part of the studio. I really like this little thing. You know, the fader isn't all that great of quality itself, but it is motorized. It's great for doing automation. I use these transport controls just all the time. It's got some great features. Even with Reaper, you can install a different DLL to replace the drivers for it and get some more functionality out of it. It has a foot switch port, so you could use a foot switch, stop and start recording. Yeah, I don't know, it does all sorts of great stuff. I really wanted at least one fader in my studio, because using a mouse and keyboard is just not, I don't know, it's not ideal for when you're mixing and trying to use your ears, and yeah, so. All right, on to a couple of things that no home recording studio really has any business owning, and that is a pair of Empirical Labs EL8 distressors. These are amazing. They're freaking terrific. They're very versatile compressors, and yeah, I only own these because I got obsessed about the idea. I spent months looking on Reverb and looking for them used, and I bought both of these used at different times. The serial numbers on them are like 15,000 apart or something, so they're not exactly a matched pair, but they're just they are just a terrific. They're famous for a reason. Some people really don't like them, and if you really get into the extreme settings on them, yeah, they can do some nasty stuff. But they're very versatile. I think they sound amazing. Now, for much more of a home recording kind of budget, another compressor that I really like, and that's the ART or ART Pro VLA2. You can get one of these for about 300 bucks. You can get them way cheaper than that used. They have a couple of tubes in them, and it's a dual channel. Like you can use it as either dual mono, or you could link them into stereo. It's really a good compressor, and for 300 bucks, man, you know, not a lot to lose if you're looking for a first outboard compressor. Holy crap, that little thing does a great job. It really does. I highly recommend it. I think it's great. It's very smooth and non-obtrusive for vocals. I think it does a great job on bass guitar as well. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. What else we got over here? This is another piece of gear that no home recording studio really has any business owning, but again, I got obsessed. I looked and looked and looked, and I finally found a good price on one. And this is the BAE 1073. This is the pretty much the most accurate American-made representation of the classic Neve 1073 preamp circuit. So it's a preamp, and it also has EQ, so it's got a low cut, a low shelf, a variable mid, and a high shelf. It's got switchable impedance. It has you know, your output and your input, so you can kind of drive it and get some of that transistor distortion if you like. It's a very saturated, just kind of almost dirty kind of sounding preamp. It sounds freaking amazing. I had to stop using it on voiceover because it's too saturated for that, and I started listening to my own voiceovers and realized that yeah, like that's not what it's made for. It's made to sound music. It's made to make music sound good. It's not really made to make voiceovers sound good. This is the remote control, the advanced remote control for my RME interface. I get you know, the jog wheel to control volume. I can switch it to control headphone volume, speaker volume, and really I don't use much of the other, you know, like talkback. I'm a one-man show here. Who am I going to talk back to? I can do a quick mono switch. I can mute in a hurry. If you push the jog wheel down, you can make it attenuate the speaker output. So, you know, it's pretty handy. I use this every time I sit at this desk. Oh, I've got my M-Audio. I'm sorry, not M-Audio, but this is an EMU. 48 key or 49 key X-Board, the X-Board 49. This thing is as old as the hills. It doesn't even have proper driver support anymore, but just as a raw MIDI instrument, it's what I use to input MIDI. I want something smaller because, as you can see, it's just awkward and weird on this desk. I don't have room for it. I'm going to move to like a 25 key since I'm not a pianist or a keyboard player at all. My limited usage, I don't need 49 keys because I can barely use two hands when I play the keyboard. What else we got here? Oh yeah, my stepson got this for me. This was a do-it-yourself, assemble yourself. Hey, focus now. Focus. There we go. Oh my goodness, that took a long time. Yeah, my stepson got me this for Christmas last year, and it's a assemble yourself, do it yourself. It's a little drum machine. Does actually some pretty wild, fantastic stuff. Takes a 9-volt battery. You know, I soldered all the pieces on here. This is from Bleep Labs, and the Bleep drum. It's actually it's a pretty fun little piece of gear. Pretty cool little thing. The wireless receiver for this is the wireless receiver for the lavalier that I'm using now. It's a Shure. It's like Shure's entry-level wireless lavalier receiver. The receiver is awesome. The microphone that came with it is terrible. I've already upgraded the microphone. Let's get a little focus. Let's get a little focus. Come on, you can do it. There you go. I can't even remember what. Yeah, it's the BLX4. You know, I think it does. The wireless receiver is amazing. I mean, the transmitter and receiver they have a huge range. I can stand outside of my house and still record to this thing. It's pretty cool. A couple of monitors, just super cheap Acer monitors. These are little 1080p monitors. I got them super cheap when I put the studio together. I'm thinking about going to a single ultra wide. That's what I did upstairs in my gaming machine, and it's awesome. Just a little worried about what I would do with YouTube tutorial kind of stuff when I'm trying to do screen captures that are going to end up in 1080 and to try to, in 16:9 aspect ratio, and try to reconcile that with a 21:9 monitor. I don't know. Anyways, my studio monitors are Yamaha. These are the older HS80M. They're the predecessor to the HS8, which I think they improved a little bit. But I got so kind of. If you've priced Yamaha Pro Audio stuff, it never goes on sale. So there's just no way to get a good price unless you get them used. I bought these new. I'm happy with them. I think they're a little, the big enclosure and the 8-inch woofer is probably a little too much for this kind of small-ish room. But I think they sound great. I think they do a really good job. Yeah, of course, my little Fallout bobblehead. You guys playing Fallout 4? You should. Of course, it's a year old now, so you probably already played it. Got good old Bob Dylan. Bobby Boy here, who I got that when I saw him in concert for the first time, about 2003 or so. We'll go over the acoustic treatment here in a little bit. Let's guitar stuff. So I am a guitarist by nature. So this is actually an all original vintage 1965 Fender Jazzmaster. I say all original. Now I did replace the little collet and the trim arm with a stay trim. I do have the original, don't worry. But I wanted to be able to position the trim arm and not have it flop around on me. Yeah, it's the old one with the Stratocaster style knobs on it. It's got the old cellulose pick guard. It's got the clay dot fret markers. It's just a magnificent instrument. I need to have it adjusted again, but there's just not a lot of people around here that I really trust to fiddle with this thing. It's not something you just take to Guitar Center and have some goofball, try to hammer away at. This is a Fender. This is their kind of reissue or tribute to the Deluxe Reverb. It's the 68 Deluxe Reverb Custom, I believe. It's a great amp. This one's a little rattly. I have a feeling I need to replace the tubes on it and probably get some tube dampeners. Tube combos are just kind of problematic like that. It's a torture chamber for the vacuum tubes. So I really love how it sounds. I love what it can do. I need to adjust it a little bit. This guy, I did find this one used at Guitar Center. I went in to buy a cable and this thing was sitting there. And I walked away and I couldn't sleep that night because I thought, was that really an old Marshall that was sitting there? I went back the next day and bought it. So what this is a JCM 800. It is a 2204S. And the S is the small box. So this is sized to sit on top of a 4x10 instead of a 4x12. And it's in the green Tolex with the gold piping and this like small check grill cloth on it. I just think it looks like $1 million. I love this amp. It is loud as shit. It is ridiculously loud. Even in this room, I mean, this thing, last week I played it for about 45 minutes without hearing protection and I couldn't hear right for 2 days. It is obscenely loud, but it is awesome. Oh, it's so worth it, so worth it. I've got a Mesa Boogie. This is the Lone Star Special and 2-channel amp, kind of a, it uses EL84 tubes where the Marshall uses EL34, but the EL84s, they're a little, this one just kind of has that kind of soft, spongy, kind of saggy low end. So it's great for kind of blues and kind of stoner rock kind of stuff. Not exactly something you would use for palm muting or, kind of metal or anything like that, but You know, it's a great sounding amp. It's still got that kind of classic, kind of nasally, mid-rangey Mesa sound to it, but also it's got just a ton of gain and a ton of low end. And I'll have to do, you know, I'll have to kind of spotlight each of these amps here in an episode in the future. All right, a few pedals. Nothing too amazing, but you know, everybody and their dog has got the TS9. Just about everybody and their dog has the OCD. I love them both for way different reasons. I got a Keeley 4-knob compressor that I bought to replace my old, I've had this Boss CS3 for, oh geez, I don't even know how long. I've had it for maybe 20 years. And I use it all the time. And I thought, you know, I'm going to buy a better compressor. So I bought the Keeley 4-knob. And as you can see, they're both still on my, my pedal board. They're just good at different things. I've got the Electro Harmonics, the Mel 9, which was, you know, a really hot item. I kind of bought it for myself for my birthday last year, and I have hardly used it. I think I'm going to sell it. I don't really think that my playing style is really what this is intended for. Got the Boss TU3, terrific pedal tuner. The Boss OC2 that I originally bought like a long time ago, yeah, 15 years ago, thinking that I would make a guitar sound like a bass since I didn't have a bass. It did not work very well for that, but it's fun to mix that with some fuzz. The good old CS3. It's a JHS Firefly fuzz. Still on the fence about this one. It does some things great, but you know, it's its own thing. Either you like it or you don't, and I'm not so sure that I like it. A JHS Panther Cub, or yeah, that's the Cub delay, which is a totally analog Bucket Brigade style delay. Pretty sweet. Let's see, I got a couple things unhooked over here. I've got a Electro Harmonics Super Ego, which is fun, but you know, there's only so much applicability for that. Good old MXR 10-band EQ. And I got a few things, you know, stuck in storage out there somewhere. All right, so guitars. Now, got a, you know, this is probably like a 94, 93, 94 Takamine nylon string. Pardon the tissue there. I do that to keep it from keep the strings from rattling when I'm playing electric. I've got the really one of my pride and joys. This is a Martin D41. Just a really sharp looking instrument. It's a great Dreadnought acoustic. And this was their 175th anniversary year. Just a gorgeous instrument. Great to play, a pleasure to hear, a pleasure to play. This is most certainly my most played instrument. The one I identify with the best. This is like a 98 or 99 Les Paul Classic. I recently replaced, well, last year I replaced the pickups with a couple of Burstbucker Pro. I think I'm going to replace them again with like a regular Burstbucker, or maybe the 57 Classics or something. But it's that great Honeyburst finish. It is a classic, so it has the weird kind of greenish fret markers and everything, and then the kind of weird greenish. Oh, come on, give me a focus here. There we go. And the kind of greenish tuning pegs and everything. And then for some reason the lacquer on the headstock is kind of lifting and kind of looks like crap. So yeah, this was kind of like a redheaded stepchild of the Les Paul family, but I love the way it feels. I love the way it plays. I like the pickups, but they're a little microphonic. Things get loud in here, and they're a little susceptible to picking up feedback. I've got a 20. Oh man, I broke a string on this thing. What the heck? Huh. All right. Well, I have a 5-string. 2016, 2015, 2014. This is a Fender Telecaster American Deluxe. Great feeling instrument. You know, different, you know, a little longer scale than a Les Paul, but, you know, I like the way it sounds. It doesn't sound all that Telecaster-y. It's not a super twangy Telecaster, which, to be honest, is a little disappointing. But great looking instrument, great feeling instrument. I might swap out the pickups at some point on that. My the guitar I've owned the longest, I got this when I was about 13 years old. This is a 1984 Aria Pro 2 RS Inazuma. It's pretty much all original. I mean, the hardware is, at least. I've lost a few screws off it, you know, in the day. The back plate I've never had. I've got a second set of screw holes drilled in here from trying to put different back plates on it. And I mean, this thing has been around the block and back. Yeah, I've had it forever. Yeah, it's the RS Inazuma. Honestly, I think it sounds like crap. The pickups are terrible. But holy crap, this thing plays really well. I never play it anymore because it's double locking, and I don't know. I'm over that. That was great when I was a teenager, but I don't really care for the double locking trim anymore. But that thing really does play well. The fit and finish on it is immaculate. It's one of the what is it, Matsumoto? Is that the factory from Aria Pro? It's kind of the desirable one. It's one of the good ones. I've got a, I have no idea what era of a precision bass. I bought this used, got an excellent deal on it. The guy was kind of having a fire sale on his stuff. I love this bass. From the day I bought it, it's pretty much become what I use for bass on everything. It's just a good bass. Good instrument. Need to have it adjusted. It plays like crap right now. Of course, it plays a lot better than it did when I got it. That dude had it adjusted way out of whack. I got this bass. This is a, I'm trying to remember what the line is for this. It's a Squier jazz bass. It's an active. I think it's like the Squier Active V, I think, or Squier Active 5. It's a 5-string bass, active. I like the way it plays fine. I'm just not crazy about how it sounds. I thought I wanted an active bass. I definitely wanted a 5-string, but with 5 strings, you know, it takes a certain level of craftsmanship to get that low B string sounding good. And, you know, at the Squier price point, they're not quite going to do it. So the low B is a little flabby, a little goofy. Pickups aren't all that great. Maybe with a little work, it could be better. I think it plays fine, plays great. All right, other stuff. Oh yeah. The elephant in the room. And you know, you've seen me do a thing about my drum set before, but this is a Yamaha Stage Custom Birch. It's in the red finish. Great drum kit. I wanted something with kind of a small footprint, so we've got like a 10, 12, 14 toms. Right now I've got a an old you can't really see it with this thing on here. See if I can get that off there. An old Ludwig, the Blackrolite, the Black Galaxy finish on the Acrolite, and that's a good snare. It's kind of the Superphonic Junior. Does a good job. I think it sounds great. I got it tuned a little low. Need to retune it. See if I can get a little more kind of crack out of it. Cymbals are Zildjian. The Zildjian A, and it's just the kit that you know, they put 5 cymbals together, and you know, so there it is. 18-inch kick, kind of a small kick, but for recording purposes, I think it does pretty darn good. My super cheap tripod, my Amazon Basics $10 tripod. What else? Oh yeah, the snare that came with the kit, down over there somewhere. Wow, that's a slow zoom. Look at how slow the zoom is. Okay, let's bring that back. Bring it back. There we go. And the reason the lighting kind of sucks in this video is because I'm not using my my lights for this one. But these are just like some super cheap. I think it was $100 for the pair of these lights. What is it? The Studio Pro. And You know, really, actually a pretty good deal. I tried to price, I was just going to build my own. And once I sourced all the parts to build my own lights, I realized, man, for two of them, I'd spend about $100 in parts. So I just bought those off Amazon. They're really cheap. They're a little flimsy, but they do a great job. I had this diffusion material, took to a seamstress with some elastic, and had her just kind of make some like shower caps, basically. I wouldn't mind getting some better diffusion material, because that's, you know, for a guy like me, just in my basement making videos, you know, I think they do a good job. The lighting's just, the shadows are a little harsh, so I wouldn't mind getting some better diffusion material. All right, other random stuff. You know, I've got these two little carts here from IKEA that I bought one. I liked it so much that I went back and bought another one. But they're great just for drunk storage, for junk storage. How about that? And you know, just got random stuff, camera stuff, and batteries, and some deoxit. You got to have some deoxit. That's good stuff. You know, moon gels and pedals and cables, and you know, all my manuals and for everything, because I do actually read manuals. Lights and gaffer's tape and stuff. This one I use a lot more. I keep all my pics. I gotta, you know, I've had this thing since I was a kid, you know, for storing pics. I've had, you know, just the little plastic basket with just the etc. that you need, pliers and a box opener and a Sharpie and screwdrivers and who knows what. I've got more adapters and you know, I can pretty much adapt anything to anything based on what's in that little guy there. And then my strings, all sorts of strings in here for acoustic, electric, all that stuff. One thing this is not very good at is storing cables. I need a better system for storing cables because this is a mess. This is a disaster trying to get one. Yeah, try to get one cable out of that pile and see how well it goes. You can kind of imagine. So, well, let's see. Oh yeah, I guess last but not least, the acoustic treatment. So in this room, I have floor to ceiling in the corners over here. In the bottom, I have GIK, all this is GIK acoustics. I have their soffit traps in the bottom part of the front corners. On the top part, I have their tri-traps. And, you know, I got that in both corners. Tri-trap on top, soffit trap on bottom. Now, at all the first reflection points, I have their monster bass trap, and they're heavy duty. Here, let me. These are still hung a little precariously. They hang like picture frames, and I really never did get suitable suspension for it, so I don't want to mess with it too much. It'll fall down. But yeah, it's like you know, 4 inches thick of mineral wool. With the 2-inch air gap behind that, and you know, the wood frame goes all the way through that thickness. So I got that on the first reflection points here. I've got 3 more of the monster traps back here. 2 of them have the here, let's go see if we can see between here. 2 of them have their scatter plates on front. I don't know if you can really kind of see that, but as I press on it, you can kind of see the wood. Yeah, not really coming through, but it has a wood scatter plate on the front of it. This one does not, the middle one, and neither do my first reflection point ones. At the top here, I have their 242, I think, or maybe 244, with their ceiling cloud mount. So they have kind of the 2-inch air gap built in, you know, based on the mounting there. They do a good job. They do a fantastic job. But I noticed a little more flutter. There was still some flutter echo in the room, so I found some Orlex on sale. I'm not a big fan of Orlex foam, but I went ahead and since I had really nothing up high in the room other than, you know, the tri-traps, I figured, well, let's see if that gets rid of some flutter echo, treating the high parts of the room. It didn't. But I've been too lazy to take them down. So they're there. In the backs, I have these screens. They're GIK acoustics. They're acoustic screens. I leave them in the corners just kind of as like kind of bass traps. But if we, let's see if I can do this one-handed. They're kind of big and heavy. As you can see, they have hinges on them. And so when I want to use them, I can pull them out, unfold them, and make kind of like a makeshift kind of vocal booth if I want to, or if I'm doing acoustic guitars or something, I can make just kind of like a little deadened zone in the room. Let's back up and see. So yeah, you can see they spread out to a nice 36-inch width when they're fully deployed. That's kind of cool. Put two of those together and you kind of make a little makeshift vocal booth. Good stuff. All right, put that back. Well, I'll put that back later. All right, one last thing. The chair. The chair. This is an IKEA chair. I took the arms off because sometimes I play, play guitar sitting in it if I'm not using the stools. Mesh back, which is nice. It's just one of their run-of-the-mill office chairs. I just thought it looked kind of nice. I like the color in this room, and yeah, it's kind of nice. And a couple of stools. I bought a pair of Gibson branded 30-inch stools the same day that I bought my Telecaster, and I found out the next day that the Telecaster came with a free gift of a 36-inch Fender stool. So that one's sitting in storage. So I'm overstooled. The piano here, that's a digital piano. That's my wife's. It's a Roland. It's really nice. I don't play piano, so I kind of need to get it out of this room. Well, I guess moving, well, it'll be out of the room. But player piano, sounds really good. Kind of big footprint for this room. This is actually what I've been recording bass on lately. This is just like the cheapo $100 Ampeg 30-watt BA 110. It's not going to win any awards for being an excellent amp. But once I realized that I could stick an Audix D6 mic in front of it, I'm actually pretty happy recording through that. If I'm not recording bass direct, then recording it through that little tiny amp. And that amp is rattly, so you have to watch how loud you turn it up or it rattles too much. But it actually sounds pretty darn good, all in all. Anything else? Cheap mic stands. I don't really use anything special for mic stands. As you can see on some of my amps, I have the Audix cab grabber, which is, I have mixed feelings about them. When they work, they work. But they don't work on all amps. That's why I've got this one in such a weird position up here, because then I added the little 6-inch gooseneck, because without it, they don't reach far enough for a combo, for a single speaker. And then they won't work on a big cabinet like that because they don't stretch deep enough to actually grab on. Yeah, so. Oh, and let's not forget about Frankenstein. You probably saw him earlier, but this was my brother's before mine. It's just an ugly little trash can that for some reason I have a bit of an affinity for, so I've kept him around, and he's my main trash can. Full of trash. I need to empty that out. Microphones. Yeah, you've seen my mics. I've done the mic shootout, so you know what mics I have. But yeah, I keep them all. Now I keep them in their packages and everything, or in their boxes, and keep them there. A little bit of storage, so got my old motherboard box that I keep all my computer parts in, my RME box, all of my Easy Drummer and all my Tune Track stuff is kind of hiding back in there. Yeah, nothing special. Oh yeah, and the subwoofer. It's kind of dark down here, so you can't really see it, but this is the Yamaha HS, what do they call this one? The HS8? HS8S, maybe, for their 8-inch subwoofer. I think it's a great subwoofer, but in a room this small, I'm not really sure that a subwoofer was a good idea. All right, well, This has been an insanely long video, and once I get all this edited together, we'll see if I can trim it down. But if you hung with me this far, hopefully this has been kind of a good look at what all I got going on in the room here. Like I said, this is as much for me as it is for you, because I'm going to have some kind of nostalgia about this room. I love it so much, and I'm going to miss it a whole lot. So, you know, over the next, I don't know, year or maybe more, maybe less, I don't know. Until I get a new one, you know, built, you know, I'll be doing the bedroom recording thing again for a while. So, you know, we'll see how that goes. So I'm going to miss it a whole lot. All right. Well, I hope that this has been at least remotely entertaining, if not way too long. But yeah, this has been fun. And I'll see you guys again soon. I'll get another couple of videos up here before I have to start tearing this stuff down. And until then, I'll see you next time.